Hello and welcome back to the channel. Um, this video is part of the knife throwing for dummies series, and I would like to talk about joint discomfort and joint pain. So the video will have two parts to it, or two section. The first one is general, and the second one I would like to talk especially for knee discomfort, possibly pain, and steps you can do to minimize or completely reduce it, or reduce it, minimize it, get rid of it. Okay. Now, generally speaking, joint discomfort or joint pain will result from three different reasons. um, the first one is a past injury or medical condition. The second one is very closely associated with this, which means the joint has not enough mobility, or the surrounding muscles, tendons are not strong or not flexible enough. Okay. Now, if this is the reason of your discomfort or pain, please do not, and I emphasize it as much as I can, do not listen to social media experts. Okay. Do not listen to me, do not listen to anybody else. Go seek professional medical help or advice. Okay. Let it be your physiotherapist, your orthopedic surgeon, your family doctor. Proper medical advice on how to minimize what sort of exercises you should be doing, you should be focusing. Okay. Because you're doing the wrong thing will set your recovery time back for not days but weeks, months, maybe even years. Okay. So in those two scenarios, professional medical advice is the only way to go. Okay. Now, the third possibility is what I call as unnatural body movement or overuse. Okay. Or combination of these two. Now, in knife throwing, what happens, especially for new persons, or people who just discovered this hobby, um, they get addicted. Okay. It is very addictive. It is for we all throw for different reasons. Let it be meditative, or the enjoyment of the thunk, or chasing the higher score, chasing a trick shot. Doesn't matter which part you're into, right? As a new thrower, we all get this excitement of I'm going to throw, and we forget that throwing is a not a highly physical activity, but a very specialized one. Okay, so you could be a very active person, a very active tramper, or whatever other activities you do, but your body is not yet accustomed to a repetitive throwing motion. Okay, so it needs time to not necessarily develop but reactivate those muscles associated with this motion. Okay, so it's a smart idea to do not throw right off the bat 2-3 hours a day. Okay, limit yourself to a certain amount, somewhere between half an hour to an hour, and if you need to, have like two throwing day and a compulsory day off, which is the hardest thing you will do, because I just really want to go and I just want to throw. Okay, I've been there. I know the pain. um, it's like I really just want to throw. I just want to throw, and it's even worse when you're not looking at the watch. You can get into the habit of I just need one more. I just try one more catch. I just do one more attempt of this catch. And by the time you do one more and one more and one more, you already spend another hour. Okay, so especially at the beginning, limiting yourself, setting yourself some time goals could save you from developing an overuse syndrome. Okay. The unnatural motion, for generally speaking, if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Okay, use your common sense, use your kind of feeling of that. That doesn't feel right for my body, doesn't feel right for my muscles, my joints. Find a way to fine tune it that it does not aggravate you. Okay, generally speaking. Now, let's talk about the knee, especially. And the reason I want to talk about it because I have seen it in some of the groups. People were asking specific exercises to reduce knee pain, or why is my knee a little bit sore? Okay, now the knee is a single, I call it a single movement joint. Okay, wrist is rotates all over, shoulders rotates all over, elbows and knees are single motion. Okay, it goes one way and goes back the other way. That's it. Okay, now uh, the overuse I've already covered. Take days off. Now the improper way of use of the knee, there can be two ways. Okay, one is when you constantly hyperextending the joint. Okay, now this could happen. I mean, most of these what I'm talking about, they closely or relevant in the no spin throwing. But I assume rotational would be the same. I'm not a highly experienced rotational thrower. Okay, um, so as I said in earlier video, there's two ways to create a rotational movement. Okay. Actually, before I talk about this, there is two ways, and then the third is the combination of two to create a movement forward for the knife to fly. One is a forward acceleration or movement, or I don't know what I should call it. Okay. Now, the knee is very comfortable at this because you're pushing forward. You're pushing forward. There is no rotational and no hyperextension or rotational force on the knee. It's just pushing forward. Okay. Now, if you step and push forward, it's perfect. I mean, that's the knee is the happiest then. Okay. Now, this other side, which I prefer also, is creating a centrifugal force, or creating the propelling the knife forward by a centrifugal force. Okay. Now, this can happen in two different ways. One is pivoting down the center line, which means one side going back and another going forward, or using one side is almost stationary, the other side goes forward, and then this is stationary, and then this side comes forward. Okay, bear with me, this is a highly debated topic, and if you have a different view on it, I'm okay with it, or I'm happy for you. This is my view. It is what it is. Okay, now if you want to rotate through the center line and pushing one forward, almost the easiest way, which is the wrong way, is to pull or push this knee back, and by pushing the knee back, this hip side goes back and the other goes forward. It's really really fast movement. Okay, but what happens is this knee, stay, don't fall, is constantly hyperextended. Basically, you're giving yourself a joint lock every time you do this. Okay, and after a while, your knee will be upset. The second way to upset your knee is rotational. Okay, as I said before, the knee is happy to move this way, right? But it's not happy when your toes are pointing that way and your torso or hip or upper body wants to rotate that way. that creates a rotational force on the tendons on the two sides. Okay, now skiers will know this accident or injury because they have these big huge skis on them, and if the skis go stuck and the body is rotating, the knee is the one that gives out torn ACLs and all sorts of fun parts. Okay, so your knee is the most happy when it's in the movement is in line with your toes. So if you want to rotate, you need to pivot. Okay, actually you need to do two things, or could do two things. Pivoting is pivoting on the ball of the foot, keeping the toes in line with the knee is one part. But picture this, and this comes up even worse or even more highlighted when you try to do side arm throwing. So you're standing side arm and you throw this way, right? Then your toes pointing that way and your body is turning this way. So there is a huge pressure on the knees. Now, it's gets even worse if you step out, because now you got your body's momentum and then you rotate with the knee is still facing that way. And then your body is facing that way, and you're constantly aggravating the tendons on the side of the knee. Now, if you want to do this way, want to throw side arm or this way, as you rotate, step out that your toes pointing to the front. So actually you can do two things. One is stepping out like that. So that way. Okay. Now, as you notice, I'm hoping that the feet showing. So rotating the hip, stepping out, pushing the knee forward, then being relaxed on the rear foot. And the knee is being pushed forward, therefore reducing this rotation, almost taking out this rotational stress. Okay. Now the second is needs a little bit more practice. Because what happens as you step out onto the ball of the foot and then you rotate the whole body, but you rotate on the ball of the foot. I'll come back a little bit. So as you step out onto the ball of the foot, and then the whole thing rotates. Okay. Now this one has a built-in danger, so to speak, that if you're not properly on the ball of the foot, if your heel gets stuck, your foot stops rotating, you keep on moving, the knee will get the side loading that you don't want. Okay. So stepping our toes facing forward is one of the easiest way. Stepping out, rotating, sweet. Okay. Now, this also can happen when you're forward. Okay. So your hip is parallel with the target. Stepping forward with an almost straight leg then will hurt your knees, because with an almost straight leg, your knee takes the rotation. Okay. So if you step forward, relaxing, pushing forward, relaxing, and as you move, this relaxation on the knee takes up some of the side movement. Okay. It is still will not be perfect and will not be 100% taking away the side loading or the twisting loading. I don't know what to call it exactly. For that, what you need to do is, as you step forward onto the ball of the foot, allow the foot to rotate enough that as your knee, so if that's my target area, right? Stepping out, see, foot, knee that way, and as my hip rotates, the feet rotates, or the toes now pointing the same way as the knee. So that becomes one of this, okay? Now, this will completely reduce the side loading of the knee. I know that some people are comparing knife throwing as to punching, and yes, it is, because your hip is moving, okay? So when you punch, you can't allow this to happen, because if this happened while you punched, there is nothing here, okay? That needs to be solid as you punched, right? In knife throwing, so okay, when you punch, as you connect with something, right? As you connect with something, you need to keep on pushing it, because that something or someone, let's go with the bag work, but punch a person, right? They are pushing back. So if you have nothing behind this, it will bounce off, right? You want the push in. That's solid. In knife throwing, soon as you let the knife go, that's it. There is no more resistance. There's no feedback from the knife. So you can allow I can do whatever I want, because once I let the knife go, there's nothing, there's no feedback. So it is okay to just allow that the rear foot just to do whatever it wants. It doesn't need to stay planted. So yeah, I know it's a bit of a longer video, but hopefully it's helped somebody reducing the problem with the side loading, the feel of the aggravation with the knees, the feel of the discomfort or even pain. But as closing words, if you had a knee injury in the past and you think that the pain or discomfort is because of that past injury or past medical issue, do seek professional help on how to strengthen up the muscles and tendons around the knee, how to stretch them, how to strengthen up. Do not just listen to me, okay? So with that, hope you find this long video somewhat interesting, and see you in the next one. Thank you.